Alrighty, we're back to back testing today. Let me put my YouTube chat on the iPad. Y'all know the drill. And wait for some people to join on TikTok. But today we're gonna look at simply back testing 4 hour and staying on the 5 minute like this. Just like the setup is now. Staying on the 4 hour and then looking to enter and analyze on the 5 minute. If that makes sense. So that's what we're gonna back test today. Just 4 hour, and then because for some people that is maybe there's a fair value gap you're waiting for it to enter, maybe there's other things you want, but the 4 hour is telling you, you know, where we want to go. And really sometimes all you need is just the candle right before. The 6 a.m. to 10 o'clock candle might be all you need. You can just take it for a 1 to 2, you know? So let's just see how this plays out. So this was our last week, or whatever we did, not yesterday, but the day before. Sometimes now I throw in educational sessions, not just back testing sessions, for people who don't know what we're doing. But okay, on the 4 hour, we have swept this liquidity. And then we do have a gap here to maybe close back below, because it's looking like, actually we haven't swept liquidity yet. Maybe we're going to. Actually, let's not mark that gap. There's a better gap that lines up with liquidity. If you're on a higher time frame, you really want a gap that lines up with liquidity, because this is a big move if it comes above and then it has to close all the way back down below it. Same with this gap here. So you kind of want one that lines up with your liquidity sweep, so once it comes out of the gap, you're good. And there is one here. So it'd be nice if we get a candle close and then come back out of here. Would be very nice. If we want to go higher, there is one here. Would be the next target. So we candle close above here, we're going to this one. We would love to see it bounce off of this one back to the downside. That's what it's giving. Let's mark 10 o'clock. And we're doing what we did on Friday. We're just gonna look. We're just gonna look, and we're not gonna mark up until like after and see and study. Like, I know people love to just get on here and it strokes egos to like set a trade and see how good your strategy is, but we're here to learn as well. And as a beginner, this is what you should be doing, studying. You don't have to just always just set up and take a trade. Now, in the 5 minute, we do have a nice inverted fair value gap that we can be like, hey, we want to enter off of to confirm our downward bias. You know what I'm saying? We already kind of have a little mini market structure shift here, but let's just see how things play out. Okay. We want to wait for this 9 candle to close. It's looking like it already, you know, dropped so much. So it's clearly giving signs that we probably will get in sells right at 10 o'clock. But let's see, we have London lows here and we have Asian lows here. So it could give at 10 o'clock that we are reversing back up. Who knows? Like I said, I trade at 10 o'clock. So boom. This is one of those days where I said, if you have a strong red candle, sells. We said it. Now, they did give you a nice little pullback up into what? This 5 minute fair value gap for your 4 hour power of 3. This is what Key Flow Trades, who I started trading 10 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, said today, actually, in one of his videos. So basically, if you're confident in your bearish bias, now, like I said, that's what I said, I used to trade the 10 a.m. reversal, but there are days where it's not going to reverse, and this could fake you out. This was a nice pullback. We do have a fair value gap made here in the 5 minute, and this is giving you your 4 hour power of 3. If you don't know what the power of 3 is, it's every candle is a wick and a body. So if you're wanting the candle to go down, you want to catch the top wick. Well, this is a lot of movement, sadly, but you know, whatever. And if you want to go up, you want to catch this lovely bottom wick. That's what that means. So basically, 10 o'clock open was here, the top of this candle. So if you're looking for sells, you want it down here. So yes, that was a day I probably would have gotten sales right at 10 o'clock, but look how much better of an entry I got if I waited for it to pull back into this 5 minute for value gap. That would have been a nice, lovely trade. So actually, we can just back test that today. We can just back test, and then you can just take it for a 1 to 2 if you want it. I think I'm gonna start doing that as well. Look at that, 1 to 2 hit perfectly. Obviously, our 1 to 2.5 maybe if you want that. Still hit it. So there's that. That's also kind of a strategy. It's a silver bullet strategy where you wait for the first 5 minute. You wait for just a 5 minute for value gap between 10 and 11. But obviously we want to add some higher time frame bias into it. Again, we could reverse off of this gap. So if you're a 10 AM reversal trader, which I used to trade, you can just wait for that as well. You would have might got faked out on this one, and then you might get your reversal here, but it could keep going lower like that. That's why I started looking at the 4-hour chart, because it tells you everything you need. Now, the 4-hour candle I trade was indecisive, but we still got our good trade. And then 2 p.m. starts the new one, and it's continuing to push down. So you could have held it for 1, 2, 3. See what I'm saying? So let's just back test that tonight. Yo, what's up, Tay? We're just gonna back test 4-hour, because that's really all you need. Like, say you just say, I think we're going down. Find it for value gap on the 5 minute, take it down for a 1 to 2. You think it's going up? Wait for this to get inverse, or find a gap you can enter and buys off of. You see what I'm saying? So let's back test that. That went actually really nicely. But like I said, you gotta do your analysis on the 4-hour. It's just the best time frame, in my opinion. Since it got me funded in like a week. What's up, Savvy Plus? What's up, Tay? We gotta make Tay profitable, y'all. He's been killing it diligently and still getting sniped in that 9:30. He's joining the macro team now, though. So, alrighty. Clearly, looking like we're gonna go up. This might be a sign again. Now, opposite of what happened yesterday. So, looking like we want to go to this 4-hour liquidity point. That's what it's giving. So let's just see what we get on the 5 minute. Let's see what 10 o'clock brings. That's not 10 o'clock. That's 10:10. Boom. Once this 9:30 candle, oh, fuck. Whoa. Now, here's my thing. When things get close to liquidity like this, I usually will wait for it to take it in the reverse. We do have a nice hammer to the downside. We do this nice little pullback here, but I'm not confident in this trade. So for me, what I do is, I either love when there's a big gap like this, or I love when there's 2 gaps and we're in a range where if we invert the one up top, we're going higher. We invert the one below, we're going lower. So I'm gonna need a full candle close out of this gap before I'm confirmed in sales. And or if we still want to go up, it should bounce out of this gap. If that makes sense to you. If you want to get in right at 10 o'clock on a sell, listen, that is your prerogative, but I personally would not. That hammer is nice though, I'm not gonna lie, but the body is still too big for me to take that as a real hammer. I need a real hammer like this. Tall wick, skinny body. This is just a, All right, now if y'all want to enter off that one, you can. Let's see how it plays out though. That's still scary to me, but. Okay, boom, it did push. So that's why I said you wait for the inverse. Boom. So y'all know me. Inverse me, you could wait for that pullback for a slightly better win, but like I said, you could have got in right at 10 o'clock, but you didn't have a confirmation we were going down until we inverse that gap. And do you get a 1 to 2? You do. I mean, your stop loss might not be that big. You could have, 1 to 2 could have been smaller, obviously, but I like to do mine. So that's really, the 4-hour and the 5 minute is really all you need. Fair value gaps and liquidity. Now, I sometimes used to be like, I need to wait for it to come up here, but you see how it rejected very bad. And the 4-hour 10 a.m. candle is the biggest candle of the day, like 96% of the time. So that's all you need to do is catch this. That's it. And where do you want to take it? We just did a 1 to 2, but there was London lows here. Then there was one low here. and then there's still a big one down here. But most of us probably would sell this London low. But now, if I'm gonna start, I might just start doing a 1 to 2, like I said. I did say I was gonna paper trade this week, but I feel my emotions are good. Now that I'm saying 1 trade per day, I feel like I'm confident. I don't want to not trade tomorrow or this week, and price action's actually good this week. Or I might bounce back and forth. Like I paper traded Friday, I might trade live tomorrow, and then if I lose tomorrow, paper trade Tuesday, something like that. Just to not blow accounts fast. But you see how this happens? We did not catch the power of 3, sadly. There wasn't much power of 3 to catch. It was the actual 10 a.m. candle, this little wick up there. So you got it right at 10 a.m., your entry was here. And again, I wasn't mad at that entry, but like I said, with this candle still being bullish with a big body, I needed this to be inverse. It's a big gap. And it ran down quick, got inverse. It gave you a tap back up if you wanted this entry instead of this entry. So you got like 5 or 6 more ticks of money towards you. And then yeah, 1 to 2. Let's see if it goes to that next liquidity point. Boom, does. Again, also your take profit areas, swing lows. And then your next one, if you want the third one, I always sell at the first one or the second one. Like if I don't like my risk to reward at this one, or my entry is like really bad, like if your entry was here at this fair value gap, if that was your entry, then you probably took it down to the second one or the third one, not the first one, because that's not that big of a move for you. Just depends, what you trade or how late you got in, and then boom. Look at that beautiful long 4-hour candle. And you don't have to trade it for 4 hours. This is only noon. That's 2 hours. I usually trade it the first 2 hours. Then the last 2 hours, it might can keep running down, or it can reverse and make it a green candle. And it'll still be the biggest candle of the day. So that's it. That's what you do. So let's go to the next one. Next New York session. Once I'm profitable and getting payouts, I'm going to just do me and stay out the way. Good for you. I feel that, yeah. Bro, everyone got a Discord now. They do. I don't have a Discord, though. One day, but I don't have a Discord. But why not have one? I have another friend of mine who trades. She's starting one in October as well. If people want to copy your trades, why not have a Discord? Okay. This is the next day, correct? Okay, next day. Where? Also, trading for free is, I've been trading live. I do enjoy it, but then you'll get trolls in here, and it really, mentally, I don't like it. That's just a me thing. And trading is a mental game, so you have to do what you do for yourself. So I don't give a fuck. You're like, oh, you're a little bitch. You can't handle trolls, and won't. This is real money. This is my real money on the line. Blocked. And then when I go to my Discord, obviously most trolls shouldn't come in there because you're going to be charging for it. But to each their own. But I don't agree with like A Bands FX. He's like, no one should be giving away their strategy for free. Like people who like, oh, I don't know how to trade. Then you ask them what they trade, and they're like, act like they can't tell you. You gotta pay for it. Like I hate when people do that. Like, I'm telling y'all this is exactly how I trade every morning. There is no need for me to charge y'all to see this. Like I don't understand that logic, but to each their own, I guess. Alrighty, we're in this 4-hour fair value gap. We either want to inverse it, which I hate when this happens. This is a lot of moves. This is a lot of money you can be making, but we either want to come out of it. Our low to target is just down here, but let's see if we have some. Yeah, lines up with Asian perfectly. So let's see if we get a push out. And then if we go up, we need to inverse something for me to be confident in us going up. So we need to find a fair value gap on the 5 minutes that lines up with that swing high. There's one here. Let's see. Still a little too far, but it's okay. So buys above this gap, sells out of this 4-hour gap. That makes sense. There's not a bullish one to take on the downside, so You gotta do with that what you will, unless you want to use an inverse now of this one after we already inverted it to the upside, but I don't need that. Let's see. Boom. That's all you need right there. Look, that's the hammer. That is a hammer to buy right and sells at. However, we're already close to our profit, so we have to see if we reverse from it, if that makes sense. If you're already close, like this is not, by the time 10 o'clock comes, we might already be down here. There's no point of trying to take that trade. And then you see if we get reversal. Okay, this is a nice setup on the 5 minute. It's giving, maybe we come back out of this to go down if you want it. Still before 10 o'clock, so it doesn't even matter. Boom. You see how you would have been stopped the fuck out? That's why you wait till 10 o'clock. We did inverse this one back to the upside now if you want to get in some buys, but I kind of would wait for this one because we're still in the range we were at 9:30. I like to leave the range of 9:30, which that's actually a strategy, like an opening, what is it, opening range strategy that some people who trade levels, they trade that. But for me, 9:30 can sometimes just trade sideways in a range. You don't see a dip coming. What do you mean? And the NAS, like overall? Okay, now this is a good entry for sales, but again, I just don't know. Let's see if we have another target. Oh, we do have a target down here. Maybe take it to there. Let's see how it plays out. All right. Well, let's still one. I'd stay on the charts if I'm in a trade for one. Boom. Worked out pretty nicely. Okay. So we got a second bounce off of this gap. Once you inverse this 5 minute gap, we just, well, it's technically respected it because it went back down, but it inverted it and then came back down. That's a good sign that we want to go down. That was your stop loss above the high, and then you might not have needed to take it, but like I said, the first target, see, and I've always said that if you have to get in a late entry, it's usually going to give you a 1 to 2, and if you want the second target, you've got the second target. But like I said, I'm probably going to start doing 1 to 2.5s and just setting and forgetting is what I'm trying to do. But still a good trade. Cause my stop loss is usually like 130, so what's that, like $300? I don't know what that is. Literally about to happen like right now. Luke, you do this every time. I don't care. I tell you that. I don't care what happens until right before 10 o'clock. This is how I trade for literally an hour, maybe 2 hours tops. This is how I trade. I don't care what it's doing overnight. I don't care if it's going down every day of the week, because sometimes it's going down and at 10 o'clock I get a buy trade. I don't care. We do this every day. And I might have to block you if you keep doing the same thing every day. All right, let's go to the next day. But yes, if you're in sales right now and you're trading it, do your thing, Luke. But we're here and we're back testing. We're not even trading right now. You know this. You do this every day. Okay. Next New York session. Let's mark 10 o'clock. And you see how you can do this every day. And just simplify your strategy. So where are we at now on the 4 hour? I'm about to make this bigger actually because it's... Okay, well, we have a gap here, and then we have a gap here that we're already in right now. And this is just to analyze the charts. You just mark gaps and mark liquidity points. There also is another gap right under this one that I'm like, is this the target? Yeah, this is not the clearest. It's kind of giving... We might just want to go straight down to this liquidity point is what it's looking like. But at the same time, we've ran down so much. Do we want to pull back and rebalance? This is one of those confusing days. If we want to pull back, we're at a gap we can rebalance from. We also can come to this gap and rebalance from it. Or we can just come straight down. Who the fuck knows? So let's see how this plays out. We have 10 o'clock. Let's see, do we have anything on the 5 minute? And I mean, if you want to play off this gap on the 5 minute, and once we close below it, get in sales to like here or something, you probably can do that, or to the top of this gap. When they're closed, it usually goes to the second one most of the time. Okay, bounce off of it, but again, this is before we get on the charts. This is 9:30. Did it again. Still before 10 o'clock. Boom. I think you can enter right on sales on that. What is the candle looking like? Also, all these 4-hour candles are indecisive. This whole Asian London, none of them did anything. None of them did anything. So maybe it's a turtle soup, a power of 3. We manipulated above, so maybe we finally distribute down. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. Take the trade. YOLO. Stop loss there. 1. Damn, that's a big. Jesus. 1 to 2. I don't know if I like that, y'all, but let's see. Down to lose 1. Boom. See how I said when you'll know in your gut when you don't like something. You'll know. You'll know. And that's why some people get in it right at 10 o'clock, but I like to wait for stuff to play out. This was very indecisive, and now look how short that 4-hour candle is. Once we candle close out of this 5-minute gap, or even candle close out of this hourly gap, the 4-hour gap we marked, you could get in buys. So the 10, you still could have gotten, this is the 5-minute chart, so 5 minutes after 10 a.m., you got an entry for buys. Or you could have waited for this big candle. If you waited for the big candle, like I said, you could tell that this wasn't, this is showing you indecisiveness. Long wicks on both sides, skinny body in the middle is indecisive. So you would have known to wait. So it's a 1 to 2 if you get it. We might bounce out of this 4-hour provided gap. Who knows, dude? The liquidity point is way up here, though. See how I hit my 1 to 2 perfectly? Actually, no, it didn't hit 1 to 193. That's why you don't get greedy. Because now you're stopped out. This also, like I said this is a gap to reverse from. And it did. Or you could have, if you had a bias, which I don't trade, that's why you saw all the options that I took, that this would have been a day I lost probably. Or I honestly would have waited for this trade, and I would have took this trade and probably sold it once this red candle closed for something like that. This would have been my trade that day. I wouldn't have took that first trade I said because like I said when I said it, it was very indecisive, even at 9:30. But if you have a bias, there are days where your bias being clear will really help you out because actually this is the manipulation here. I thought this little wick was, because this is what happened on Friday. I wanted a big manipulation like this and it gave us a tiny one. And I didn't trust it as the power of 3. Big manipulation, now we should distribute the rest of the day. And some people could have put their entries right at this gap, but that's a big stop loss. And it could look, just ping pong between the two is what it's looking like it wants to do. So yeah, if you were in the cells with a bias, this is why I don't use a bias, because look, you would have thought it's confirmed your bias and it didn't. So that trade I took after waiting for confirmation from this candle to the top of the gap was the only valid trade of the day. And then if you held it longer, you would have got stopped out and then it went back up. That's why I'm going with the bias. Just go, let the market tell you wants to go, because if you go with the bias, like this is just, and these are higher time frame for right gaps. 4 hour, it's going to do this around the gap on the 4 hour. So it's nice when they're far apart. That's why I said when I mark these, I don't like it when they're close because these are strong gaps. These aren't 5-minute gaps. These aren't 15-minute gaps. These are 4 hour time frame gaps. So it's going to bounce, stay close to them. It did what I'm going, a second take profit. If you had your stop loss at that 9:30, 9:45 low, you would still be in this trade. So we got in here. I mean, if you got in right at the 10 a.m. candle close, that 5-minute candle, obviously you got a better entry, but I know me, this wasn't sure enough for me, especially with a big red candle and then the small green candle. I needed a big green candle. So once we got that second big green candle, I would have got in on that. Now, if you had your stop loss here at that 9:45 low, you did not get stopped out for a 1 to 2.7. I mean, it hasn't gone there yet, and is at the end of the day. Yeah, well, you have like 10 more minutes, so we should hit it in those 10 minutes. Boom. So you would have sat on the charts the rest of the day, though. So that's for those people. If that's what you like, that's what you like. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, you do know, Luke. You know the drill. Why do you do this to yourself? Okay, next day. So I'm probably gonna trade like this tomorrow. Actually, I'm gonna keep my 5 minute on. I think we're finally going to these highs that I have marked from last week. I can delete this. This is the 5 minute chart, and this is the 4 hour. And then we'll see. I'm gonna mark also on the 4 hour this order block that we've had for a while. Template, order block, continue. I want it at the body, not the wick. I want it at the body of this white candle. So maybe we don't have a gap. So maybe right now in Asian we'll go down there and we'll come up. But let's see if we come into this order block tomorrow and go higher or close below it and we go and sell somewhere else. So let's just see what happens tomorrow. But that's what I think. Okay, did we do the next day? Yes, we did. 10 a.m. This is all you gotta do. All you have to do. Okay, look, we already inversed this gap. So it's looking like we're going down to these lows. Just yesterday's New York session, or the daily lows. That's why I said I don't trade daily lows all the time. I'll trade Asian London, but obviously today we have already past London lows, so it looks like we're going for the daily lows. You can do the 4 hour low if that's 1 to 2 depending on your entry, and let's see what we get. And then we could close above this, and then we will be going to the Asian highs if we close above this gap. That's it. I mark 2 options. If we go up, that's our target. If we go down, that's our option. And then you usually can have a 5 minute gap to help you get a better entry. Like you might not have to wait for it to go above this, because you can wait for it to go above this one. You get the gist, you get the flow, the ebbs and flows of why you do this. It's all you need, y'all, is gaps and liquidity. A swing high, a swing low, on the 4 hour, a candle low. First of all, this is, oh, I marked the daily low, that's why I moved it. It's okay though. All right, let's see. Ooh, alrighty, so at this point, it's not even 10 o'clock yet. This might be our 10 a.m. reversal. We haven't even gotten to name reversal in a while, on this backtesting session. Or we keep going, but like I said, you won't know. We don't get in until 10. We don't care. We don't care. This is the day the 9:30 traders cooked. They got a good trade. All right, we can erase this because now we've made so many more gaps. At 10 o'clock, at this point, we're already close. So I'm just going to wait for it to reverse back up at this point. Let's mark a 4 hour gap that we can bounce off of. Lines up with liquidity beautifully. So let's see if we bounce out of this 4 hour gap, and that's going to be hopefully our reversal. And if not, it's just a day. Listen, we don't take a trade, because like I said, I don't trade till 10 o'clock. Now we do have our 10 a.m. That's not bad, actually. You got this nice candle. You could get in. This is a prime example where you could get right at 10 a.m. Stop loss above the body of that candle. Let's see if we get a 1 to 2. You actually get 1 to 2 right at the top of that gap, and or a little bit below this line. So that's not bad, actually. As long as you get your 1 to 2, you could take it. If you were like, if this ran down all the way to here, though, you'd wait for the reversal. But let's see. Boom, you got your 1 to 2. So that's not bad. That's not bad. A long candle like that, but still gives you a 1 to 2 on your entry, you can take that. And then it kept going. It kept going. And it's going to finally give the reversal for the afternoon people. It's going to keep going. Like I said, look at this candle. Big. Obviously, this one, the 6 to 9, really ate. But like I said, you don't care. You don't care. Because you saw how yesterday, how 9:30 was fucking chaotic. at least you will not get that chaos. You'll just either miss a lot of the move. 9:30 traders, they're eating today, but we still got a piece of the move. And I actually love days like this. You get a nice long candle, and you gotta clearly take it to the 4-hour swing low here or to the gap. We already closed right there. Where are we going? Down. That's a day where it's clear as fuck. You can get in right at 10. And that's why I said I get in at 10. I don't wait for fair value gap taps all the time, because look, it never tapped you in. If you would have waited like some people do, like you would have had your limit order set right there, it didn't tap you in that day. That's why, like, sometimes I get it. I'll get better entries if I wait for a fair value gap tap on the 5-minute. But I've noticed on the 5-minute at least, the market will run without you. And I'd rather be in the play than get an extra 10 ticks and not get in the play, in my opinion. I just like to trade every day. That's me. I like to trade every day that I can. So there's that. Great trade. You got a 1 to 3 if you wanted it. And that's it. You really just need to look at where the 4 hour is going. And you like it when it's close. Like I said, the 4 hour is a big chart. So yeah, it looks like it's nothing on the 4 hour, but it's a nice move on the lower time frames. That's why I need you guys to remember that. Let's go to the next day. Next New York session. And y'all, this service, you can do this yourself. You can back test yourself. FX replay. All right, we have a gap here. Looks like we're going to. And then we have a big ass gap here, which is not fun, but next to each other. So it's giving. They're so close. There's no point of even marking this little one. So probably going up to this gap. And then maybe reversing from it. I don't know. Okay, this is a weird gap. It was a weak open gap. Tuesday. 4 to 6, because like it closed here and opened up here. There's I don't know what kind of gap that is, but we'll mark it on the downside. We'll make it orange, because I don't know what that is. A daily open gap, I guess. That's weird, but so go up here, bounce, go down here, come down here, bounce, go up there. Liquidity at the bottom side. We're already in between. It never shows our sessions until we start playing it. I don't know why. Because I want to see our sessions. Let's play it out and see if it'll show them. There we go. Okay. That helps, because you want your session highs and lows. We haven't swept either one of them. So we'll mark. Always mark the lowest one and the highest one. So Asian's the lowest on the downside. London's the highest. So maybe we get liquidity sweep at one of these and then reverse. If we get a nice hammer, if this closes as a hammer, which is looking like it might, long wick, it's going to be a skinny body hopefully. You can get in buys immediately after to take it to this gap. Well, it's going to hit the gap before okay, it's not going to hit the gap. All right, we do have a gap here right before 10 o'clock if you need that one to enter in sells off of an inverse, or buys if it's respected. Buys if it's respected, sells if it's, There's a lot of them though. I don't like that either, but boom, 10 o'clock. So you can get in sells right off of that candle if you wanted it. Boom. I don't know if that's a 1 to 2 though. Let's see. Wasn't enough to get in right at 10 o'clock open. Sorry to say. I don't think any of y'all. And you didn't even get the inverse until that candle closed anyway. So stop loss. Usually above the high, that's kind of big. Let's do maybe the wick of the 10 a.m. candle. I don't know. So it's not really a 1 to 2 yet. If you took it. Almost, not quite. Not quite a 1 to 2. So you could take that if you wanted it. Maybe it'll still go your way. I don't know. It's a little indecisive. Yeah, I don't think it is. Yeah, you're stopped out. So this is just an indecisive 4-hour candle. But that's a decent move if you wanted it, because you knew it was going to liquidity. It didn't go to that orange gap, but you could have took that if you wanted it. Or you could get in buys above this. Let's see how far that will go for you. As I said, some days the price action is not the greatest. And I wasn't confident it was going to this opening range gap at all. Oh yeah, on the 5 minute, it's this. So, this is a 1 to 2. You don't even need all that. 1 to 2. Stop loss below the body of the candle. Are you gonna get it? You're not. Stopped you out. So this trade was the one today, and it wasn't that great. So you could have just not took a trade today. See, and you see why it's very indecisive for our candle. And that's that. Now, if you had your stop loss above this high, like I originally was supposed to have, you could still be in this trade technically if you want to take it down to here, to this opening range gap. I don't know if it's going to go today. We're already at 2 o'clock. But it's still, some people get on the charts at 2 o'clock. So now we're at 3:55. It's pushing it. Yeah, I'd be off the chart for sure after 4. But 4:30 is stock market close, and then 5 o'clock is the futures market for your prop firm. If you're trading a prop firm, you need to be off by 15 minutes. So there's no point. So yeah, this was the trade, just to liquidity, or you didn't take a trade that day. It wasn't the best. Or you could have left your stop loss tighter, and it would have been a 1 to 2. It would have been like if you just did the body of the candle and then stop you out before going your way. So do with that what you will. So I said some days, you know, or if you got in right at 10 o'clock, if you're really confident, you know, you got a nicer risk to reward. But like I said, I need that if everybody got inverse first. I wasn't confident we're going to the open range because like I said, I don't trade open range. I just marked it for some reason. And it's the London, the Asian lows too. That's a strong session liquidity point. Also, this is giving clear silver bullet if you want to look at that. That's why I trade at 10, because it lines up with silver bullet, macro, so many things. Buy side liquidity, sell side liquidity. It swept sell side, boom, reverse, took out buy side. Actually took out buy side first at 9:30 and then went to sell side. So there are days where it's indecisive, but if you trade like, you know, liquidity to liquidity, you know, that's why I say consolidations are very beginner friendly. So you could have took, well, 9:30, well, got this buy. So the macro, the 9:45 people, you got the top, you could have turtle souped, took it down to here, and then turtle soup here for buys. So you could have took 2 trades if you wanted it. It didn't take out this liquidity though, but it did go up a little bit. But decent trade. It wasn't confirmed in going down until we candle close below this gap though. So if you're confident in your turtle soup, that's what you got. That's it. Let's do one more. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna trade. I think I'm gonna try my live account tomorrow. I think so. I copy trade my live account with my funded. If I lose tomorrow, I'll probably just trade the funded account. But we'll see. Cause I feel like I said I was gonna paper trade to just practice only catching 1 trade a day. But I feel like I kind of do that already. I just, at the time, was taking more than 1 trade a day. So now that I'm focusing on 1, set and forget, but we'll see. All right, 10 o'clock. I'm trying to see if there's a gap we can tap into to reverse from if we want it. There's one here if you want it, but I'd wait for us to come out of this overall gap. But if we close above it, maybe you want to take buys up to these highs right here. Let's see how it plays out. Straight reverse from this big ass 4-hour value gap. So let's see. And this closes one big red candle. That's why you look at your 4-hour too. We can get in sales to one of these lows down here. I mean, there is a big 5-minute gap though. Let's just see. Sometimes you gotta just watch it and not set an order and learn. But yeah, we bounced off those gaps, so maybe it is a sales right at 10 o'clock. There's another gap here. and let's see how we respond off of it. Because this being close to this gap, I wouldn't have gotten sales immediately. And then we have a green candle. I don't know if we want to reverse off this strong bullish. This is the 5-minute bullish gap though. This is not a 4-hour like this one is. So let's see. Bounce off it again. Boom. Candle close back down from this gap. Maybe you can get in. Buys. Boom. So that, I mean sales, sorry. That is a better entry for me. Did we get a 1 to 2? Let's see. We might not. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And see how you got a better, I mean, if you got in right at 10 o'clock, it's the same. So you see how it's better to wait for a confirmation because you still might get the same entry and you don't lose any ticks. And now you waited you were for sure versus just getting in at 10 o'clock. Or if you would have waited for this and gotten lower, you would ate half your profits. I was confident we were still going down only because this gap is a 5-minute gap. This is a 5-minute gap. This is a 4-hour gap. So we push off this big 4-hour gap. Now, on the 4-hour time frame, this is the next liquidity point. So you probably could take your trade all the way down there. Again, this is a 5-minute gap. So it's strong. That's why we bounced off of it. And we want to make another 5-minute one in case we want to close above and go higher. But for the most part, it's a 5-minute gap. So it's just gonna bounce a little bit. But see, it could respect it just like this. And now you were in buys above there. So you didn't get that 4-hour liquidity point. Or you still might get it. Who knows? I don't care. That's why I said I don't care what happens after my trade. I take my trade and I get out the charts. My 1 to 2, no drawdown because it hit my target before it bounced back up, and I go on about my day. That's just how you trade. The beginning of the 4-hour candle is great. This price action is April. April price action is always ass. I've learned learning from backtesting with y'all that April price action and spring price action has been not the best versus some of the moves and runs we've gotten. How do you learn the different time lows? Sorry, I'm just seeing your comment. Session lows. ICT time frames. There is just a session low. That's why I mark them. I don't learn them. People eat me up about using indicators. I don't give a fuck. I use them. My session lows are marked. I don't look blindly at them. A great power of 3 this day. Boom. We took out the lows and then we went higher. That's what we did. So you can just get this indicator. It's called ICT sessions, or if you don't know ICT kill zones, because on FX replay I have to enter them manually. So ICT kill zones are the sessions. So it's Asian is 8 p.m. to midnight. London is 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. And then New York varies per person. I like 8:30 to noon. Some people do 7 to 11. Long as you do 8:30 and above. Some people even just do 9:30, like stock traders. So New York can vary. The ICT sessions indicator automatically has them the way it's supposed to be. I moved mine to 8:30 here, but it has your lunch and your PM session already marked for you. So those are your session highs and lows, if that makes sense. Or you can do it manually on your own, and it can just be, 8 to midnight. You mark the highs and lows, but it's just an indicator, and you put the times in, and it does it for you. So this is my New York session. I only, on this, because it's on FX replay, it's only sessions. It's not ICT sessions. So I only mark the morning because all I trade is the morning. So yeah, I did 8:30 to noon. And then, London and Asian. That's it. Sorry, I don't know if you're still in this live stream before I answered your question. Sorry, girl. But yeah, that's it. Let's do one more. Next New York session. Alrighty, now this is a little indecisive. So I'm just gonna mark buy side on the 4-hour, sell side on the 4-hour. We'll get a change in the state of delivery, like confirm that we're going down once we candle close below here. And we'll get a change in the state delivery that we're going up once we close above here. Love that. So now, let's see. So now we're not taking any trades until we get above or below these yellow lines, if that makes sense to y'all. That, and if you become a reactionary trader like this, you literally can have a 99% win rate. What do you like to invest in? I like to invest in long-term dividends and ETFs. I have a long list in my notes somewhere. Yeah, I like VUG and VU the best. And I like the Schwab one. I like O, which is land. I like ENB as a gas stock. Simone Properties pays dividends. I have a bunch. And then I have a high yield savings account. I have a Roth, and then I have just a aggressively set savings account. Aggressively set investment account that I just put money in every month. I personally don't like buying stocks to hold. I don't know why. I seem to trade them like this. I'll hold them for days or for months, but as soon as my stock, if I buy Apple stock, it's in profit, I'm selling it. And then I buy it again and it's down. I don't know how to hold shit, so I just have long-term investment accounts that people can invest, not people, robo-invested ones with the Wealthfront. And I put money in every month and those grow. That's how I bought my house. Treat it like a savings account and move on. Okay. We do have these ranges that we say we want to get out of, but I don't know. Maybe we should do this range instead, y'all. Maybe we do this range here. I like this range a little better. But I'm honestly not investing right now because I'm living off my investments now. So I have my Roth and stuff in a high yield cash account until I trade and make money trading, which I'm right there. I just started back on my live account, and I just started back on my funded account. I just got funded on Tuesday, so let's see. But yeah, I'm gonna start buying. I'm trying to make 26 grand in trading, and then put a grand each in all of these. A grand each in all these first, and then let that do its thing. Okay, last one for the day. Very indecisive on the 4 hour, so let's just see if we get an inverse above this, inverse below this, maybe to go lower. Again, that could happen before 10 o'clock, so let's just see what happens at 10 o'clock. Like I said, we don't trade before 10. We don't care what happens. See, this is why you just wait, because shit like this can happen. And that is 9:30, people. So, and we swept sell side, went up to buy side with no entry for anybody. If you're a turtle soup trader, you traded that. Sorry, y'all, off the screen. If you're a turtle soup trader, you traded that. But if not, there's nothing we can do with that. We're still not sure, and it's still not 10 o'clock. See, he's just trading sideways. That's why I don't trade at 9:30 anymore. All right, now we got a confirmation of where we're going to go. And we do have our buy side marked, so I think we could get in buys right at 10 o'clock. Ooh, I don't like that candle. I still think you can get in buys though, based on the 4 hour. We finally broke above the yellow line, like I said. So let's see what I want to. I don't know if I like that move though, and then the stop loss has to be kind of big. I don't know if I like this, but let's see how it plays out. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. That's why I said too, you wait for the 10 a.m. candle to fully play out. Yeah, there are days where it's very clear that we're going up and down, but like I said before, I said we're very indecisive. And see it just straight reversed. And that would have been my trade. And that's why I'm taking one trade a day, because it sets you up to wait for better trades. Because first of all, now that we had that candle close, again, it's a loss. I'm not trying to be here and be like, oh, well, I would have done this now that I see it. No. You take your loss and you move on. But since we're learning, you can see what you would have done. We did have a little gap here. So I would have marked the gap. And if you're unsure, you wait for it to either bounce off the gap and go your way, like candle close out of it, or candle close underneath it. That's what you should have waited for. The days where you get in at 10 o'clock, it's super clear. It has to be like a long, like I said, a long candle, and we've come down. We're not trading sideways. It needs to be like even this is a long candle, but it's not good enough to get in buys right after because the one before is red and we're trading sideways. You want like this, like it's coming down. It's like already down. We've already ran down, and you get in to keep going down. You don't want it to be like the first big candle out of a sideways trading, if that makes sense. Let's see if you get a 1 to 2, because the stop loss is kind of big. So 1 to 2, 1 to 1.5 hits more often, so you can also do that as well if that's what you like. Or in the beginning, maybe we can move our stop loss to the body of the candle. And let's just see. Boom. You got it. So that's why I said you should just waited. We should just waited. This is a nice candle in the 5 minute. That's why you sit on the usually you sit on the 4 hour first. Like you'll see the candle start turning red. And then you go on the 5 minute. Watching the 5 minute will get you faked out like that. Like, oh, you'll see this candle and you're like, oh, buys, and then the 4 hour, no. So I try to sit on like a 15 on this side, like this, and then to look at our entry right at the 15 minute. That's why I usually start trading the 15 minute. 5 minute is when you want to wait for a variety gap tap, which I don't even really trade anymore. So that's why I started trading just the 15 minute like this. It lined up perfectly. As soon as that 15 minute candle closed after 10 o'clock, you wait the first 15 minutes and then boom, you're in the sell. Obviously, some days it just runs without you, and then you go on the 5 minute. Like once it starts moving, because you have time. This is FX replay, so it's super sped up. But in real life, this is 15 whole minutes. So after 5 minutes, when this shit starts turning red, then you be like, oh, 5 minute, and then you get a better entry. You know what I'm saying? Or even like this, even if you're sitting on the 4 hour, you sit on the 4 hour and you're like, okay, this is probably like an hour. So once it starts moving in like 4 to 5 minutes to the red, then you'll be like, oh, let me go on the 5 minute. You see what I'm saying? Like I know it looks scary and fast on FX replay, so we can do a bunch, but in real life, you'll have time, I promise, to do this. You'll have time. And then there's some times where the 15 minute is not sure, and then you just have to go on the 5. But I've noticed when I sit on the 5 minute, like that fake out trade, like getting in a buy to go here, I would have gotten in it versus just waiting on the higher time frames, because none of the higher time frames said we were going up after. Look at that. None of the higher time frames said we're going to continue going higher. None of them. Not a single one. Obviously, you don't wait for a candle close on the 1 hour because you see your whole trade is done. But once you start seeing it move down, you can be like, oh, okay, go on the 5 after that. So that's how you avoid fake outs. That's a rule. That's a rule I learned, and it got rid of my fake outs. Sitting on the higher time frame. Again, you don't have to stay on them. I know a girl who trades on the 15 minute. Some of my best trades I took on the 15 minute just like this. However, sometimes you might, I had the first day where the 15 minute candle closed super low, and it scared all of us on my live. But then it wound up going a bit after us, so we could have stayed in it didn't matter that the 15 minute closed further than we wanted, because it still ran a bit after. So we could have still traded the 15 minute, but we got scared. Like, let's see if today is one of those days. Okay, oh yeah, see, you could have traded just on the 15 minute on here. Like say you got in late on this trade, it still ran down a good bit for you. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like you don't have to be scared. Like it fucked up our emotions, and I didn't lose that day, but I didn't hold any of my trades. Like I got in down here, and like once we pulled back here, I think I moved my stop loss to break even, so that was 0, and then I got in again down here and didn't hold this candle and made like $20. Like it was so shitty. Versus if I stayed in the trade up here, that would have been like $200. So it's like you don't have to be scared. You know, that's the hard part, trading, the emotional part. But some days on the 15 minute, you know, but like I said, you can just wait and see and then go on the 5. And the 5 did give us like an entry that was like, instead of getting down here, it was like up here. So you got a little bit of a better entry, you know what I'm saying? So you can bounce between the two, but you can trade the 15 minute chart. That's the good thing about the 4 hour candle. Obviously, we've seen a few days where the movement was not that big like this day, but then there's most of the days on the 15 minute you can trade and you'll still get a nice move. Even, like I said, this big red candle on the 15 minute here, get in at the close, stop loss above the high, and then you could take it, keep taking it down if you want. for a nice 1 to 3, 1 to 3.5. It might even go all the way down to this level, which is the low we have marked. We marked the buy side target, we marked the sell side target, and then are we gonna hit the sell side target? Boom, sell side target hit at 2 p.m. That's the full 4-hour candle. The full 4-hour candle. See, we took it. Boom. I marked the range, and this is why a prime example of a lot of people, like, they call them retail traders, but we're all retail traders. But the people who just don't trade ICT and trade like opening range breakouts or whatever, that's why I don't, because I did have this as a range. I don't like doing ranges unless it's a full fair value gap. We had no fair value gap. I just marked these yellow lines as ranges, but if these were fair value gaps to inverse and stuff, I would have treated them as such. But this is why this could just easily been a liquidity sweep reversal. You see what I'm saying? And we did sweep actually. That's what I should have just marked, the London high, not this opening range. I should have zoomed out and marked. I don't even trade opening range. I don't know why I did that. But we swept that London high and then we reversed. Straight turtle soup. So this is why I do London session. I do session highs and lows the best. And then obviously if it's close like this, you know, the daily low was the target. You'll know when the daily low is the target. You'll know when it's just Asian and London. You can tell. Because, like, Asian will be way down here. Like it was this day. Asia was down here. So we kind of ran past it, actually, a lot. But you could have gotten up here and took it just as low. That's still a good move, you know. But, yeah, that's how you trade, y'all. Just that 4-hour candle, just try to catch this move. This one candle move. And it will happen usually in 1 or 2 hours. It doesn't have to be the whole 4 hours. Sometimes it is the whole 4 hours. And if you don't need to catch the whole move, you can, like I said, just catch 1 to 2. You know? That's it. That's all you have to do every day. 1 trade a day in the beginning. It helps so much. That's what got me funded. Not trying to trade all this shit. Get in at 10 a.m. News is usually done. Boom. Try to catch the move. And that was actually a really good trade. That's why you wait. You wait a little bit. So that's why I usually sit on the 15, watch the 4. Today we back tested sitting on the 5. Even though it wasn't that bad. I faked myself out 1 time sitting on the 5. So still not that bad. But I don't like to lose on a fake out for myself. I don't like to like, oh, green candle on the 5, boom. But it's like, girl, look on the 15 in the hour just to be sure. Wait a little bit, you know. And that's just it. So yeah, I back test every night like this at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. And then I live trade every morning at 9:55 a.m. Eastern. So I'll be on this tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to do my paper account or my live account yet. I feel like it's going to be the live account. We'll see how the market looks. If we get a good setup, we'll get in a trade on the live account. If it's looking a little rough, we'll see. But yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow morning and tomorrow night.